May the work I've done speak for me. May the work I've done speak for me. When I'm resting in my grave and there is nothing that can be said, may the work I've done speak for me.
Major themes throughout this presentation are: your living is determined not so much by what life brings to you as by the attitude that you bring to life. Your living is determined not so much by what happens to you as by the way that your mind looks at what happens, how we respond to situations, how we internalize those situations by not having the victim mentality, but rather having the victor mentality, working together for a common cause, how we affect the community, and how we affect those who surround us in our daily lives. These are the major themes to keep in mind during the presentation of African American women in the development of the United States. And the reason I mention the development of the United States, more specifically, call it community development, is because community development is living and not static. It is organized as opposed to unorganized or disorganized. And community development is concerned with all the factors of production.
The Underground Railroad was a lifeline for escaping slaves. The so-called Freedom Train was a complex network of places and people that led runaway slaves from captivity. Runaways would travel through the night to safe havens known as stations. Conductors provided them with food and shelter until they could safely pass to the next station. The railroad's most famous conductor, Harriet Tubman, was dubbed the Moses of her people. After her own escape, she returned to the South 19 times to help deliver over 200 men, women, and children to freedom, including her own entire family. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 required northern states to return escaped slaves. To avoid recapture, runaways now had to go as far north as Canada. The number of people led to freedom is estimated in the tens of thousands, but the true number will never be known. In January 1865, slavery was abolished, and with it, this heroic effort to help escaping slaves came to an end. For more on the Underground Railroad, check out History Detectives on the web at pbs.org.
Who is escaping? What is the reason to escape? When is the best time to escape? Where is the path to emancipation? Why is there a need to escape? And how does anyone navigate through the vicissitudes of repeated and unrelenting violence and evil committed on a people? Where are the street signs? How do we navigate? How do we know where to go? The street signs are hidden in plain view. In plain view? Yes, in plain view. There are the quilts that are hung out the windows and over fences. These are the street signs. And if you are caught and you resist, black women were in even more danger. Rape was one of the many horrors of slavery. The whites rarely recognized it as such. Many times, troops and ruffians raped black women while forcing others to watch. A horrifying experience for all. B.E. Harrison of Leesburg, Virginia, wrote a letter to President Abraham Lincoln complaining that federal troops had raped his servant girl in the presence of his wife. Negro women were ravaged. So What did some women do? What is the reason to escape? To escape beatings, lynchings, castration, rape, infanticide, suicide. Where to go? There's nothing to eat. There are no restaurants around here. How? I eats all the nuts, kills a few swamp rabbits, and catches a few fish. I builds the fire and goes off about half a mile and hides in the thicket till it burns down the coal. Then bakes me some fish and some rabbit. I is shaking all the time, afraid I'd get caught. But I is nearly starved to death.
Help us to fight this battle. Give us the courage to continue. Don't let us stop until the victory has been won. In Jesus' name we ask these blessings, and for his sakes. Amen. Oh, Lord.
Everybody. Go sing it. Thank you. Everybody get in it.
The words we're saying have a double meaning. So anytime you hear anything about traveling shoes or chariots or wheels, somebody's getting ready to run. And so you take a Negro spiritual. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. That chariot is movement. That chariot is swinging low, picking you up, putting you on that Underground Railroad, taking you somewhere to freedom. So when we sing those songs, it's like, something's getting ready to happen. So I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Jordan, that was metaphoric for the Ohio River. A band of angels coming after me. Those conductors coming to help you, coming forth to carry me home. So they had all kind of little messages. And the slave master would hear us singing and say, oh, don't they sound pretty happy tonight? Next day, 2 or 3 people gone because we put that message out. We talked about wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade. Wade, wade, wade in the water, 'cause God's gonna trouble the water. So we stepped in that water because the dogs can't pick up your scent. We had all these songs that said it's time to move, it's time to go by the waterway, it's time to follow the North Star, it's time to start looking, it's time to start traveling, it's time to start getting ready to cross over that Jordan into freedom. Still away to Jesus. Oh, Lord, they're going on to heaven. No. Still away home. I ain't got long to stay here. So we still away to Jesus. We still away to freedom. But it sounds like we're just talking about a life in the hereafter, but we're talking about a life in the here and now.
Think you know who I am? All of the good I've done. Conducted the Underground Railroad. 300 slaves freed by one. But there's another story hardly ever told about me. I was the first black female spy for the Union Army. Harriet Tubman, now I'm coming for those people you claim as property. Harriet Tubman, now I'm coming, bringing pain to the Confederacy. Past secret officer generals, but they took Jacksonville easily. Thousands of people liberated from plantations with intelligence collected by me. Ending out from the record, I had narcolepsy during every single one of these days.
Mother to Son by Langston Hughes. Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It's had tacks in it, and splinters, and boards torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor, bare. But all the time I's been a-climbing on, and reaching landings, and turning corners, and sometimes going in the dark where there ain't been no light. So boy, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps 'cause you find it's kinda hard. Don't you fall now, for I's are still going, honey. I's are still climbing. And life for me ain't been no crystal stair.
The major themes throughout this presentation are: your living is determined not so much by what life brings to you as by the attitude that you bring to life. Your living is determined not so much by what happens to you as by the way that your mind looks at what happens, how we respond to situations, how we internalize those situations by not having the victim mentality, but rather having the victor mentality, working together for a common cause, how we affect the community and how we affect those who surround us in our daily lives. These are the major themes to keep in mind during the presentation of African American women in the development of the United States. And the reason I mention the development of the United States, more specifically call it community development, is because community development is living and not static. It is organized as opposed to unorganized or disorganized. And community development is concerned with all the factors of production.